guys, my name's Ezra if you're new here, and tonight we're going to go on a journey from the parable series, and it's going to be the parable of the workers in the vineyard. So without further ado, let's go. The sun rose over the rolling hills of Judea, casting long shadows on the dusty path that wound through the vineyards. The air was cool, yet the promise of a hot day lingered as the first light touched the dew-kissed leaves of the vines. The landowner, a kind and just man, walked with purpose, his sandals stirring up small puffs of dust with each step. He reached the marketplace, where workers gathered in the early morning haze, their breath visible in the crisp dawn air. The landowner approached a group of eager men, their faces lined with the weariness of daily toil, but lit with hope for work. "Come work in my vineyard," the landowner called, his voice carrying a tone of assurance. "I'll pay you a denarius for the day." The men nodded, gratitude evident in their eyes, and followed him back to the vineyard. As the sun climbed higher, the landowner returned to the marketplace at the third hour. He saw more men standing idle and invited them too, saying, "Go and work in my vineyard, and I will pay you whatever is right." The men agreed and joined the others among the rows of vines, where the morning breeze carried the scent of ripening grapes. The landowner repeated at the 6th hour and the 9th hour, each time finding more workers and extending his invitation. When the sun was nearing its zenith, casting harsh shadows and heat waves upon the land, the landowner went out again. At the 11th hour, he saw still more men standing around, their shoulders slumped with the weight of the long, idle day. "Why have you been standing here all day long doing nothing?" he asked. "Because no one has hired us," they replied, voices tinged with a mix of resignation and hope. "Go and work in my vineyard," he instructed, a compassionate smile on his lips. The day wore on. As the shadows lengthened, the coolness of the evening began to settle over the land. The workers, weary but content, gathered to receive their pay. The foreman, under the landowner's instruction, began with those hired last, handing each a denarius. As each group came forward, those who had borne the heat of the day and labored from early morning expected to receive more, but they too received a denarius. They grumbled to the landowner, saying, "These men who were hired last only worked an hour, and you've made them equal to us who borne the burden of the work and the heat of the day." The landowner turned to them with a gentle but firm gaze. "Friend, am I not being unfair to you? Didn't you agree to work for the denarius? Take your pay and go. I want to give the one who was hired last the same as I give you. Do I not have the right to do what I want with my own money? But are you envious because I am generous?" And that was the story of the parable of the workers in the vineyard. So what does this parable mean? Let's give a summary on that. So the parable spoken by Jesus, it illustrates the generosity of God and the concept of grace. The landowner represents God. The workers symbolize believers. The equal payment, regardless of the hours worked, underscores that God's grace and kingdom are not earned by human effort, but are gifts according to his will. The parable teaches that in God's kingdom, the last will be first and the first will be last, emphasizing humility and boundless generosity of God's grace. Now, grace is God's riches at Christ's expense. In other words, grace isn't fair. The thief on the cross is a prime example. It's all about accepting the King, Jesus, and I encourage you to do that today. Thanks for tuning in, guys, with the story. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, keep it biblical.